Good morning and welcome to episode number 12 of the Why Not Huddle. And we're going to talk about why not? Again, on November 6th, 2015, even though it's November 5th, 2015. So we're always going to tell you with integrity when we're filming what we're doing. I just got so crazily frustrated in the meeting that we're having today at my house. This is Tom LaGreca. Hello, Tom.
Hello, Sean.
Okay, Tom's an attorney and leader of the liaisons within our firm. And we have some other great folks here. James Greenspan is here. Matt Carroll, Gerard is here. And that's a longer, more complicated story for different days. We have many different names in the firm. And of course, we have the wonderful Taylor Gallo, formerly Taylor Perry, who is filming for us today. So the issue that came up today is, I probably felt on the Why Not Huddles that I've been explaining maybe even too much why we're doing the huddles. And I have Tom, who's an awesome leader, awesome person within the firm, who's done amazingly great things, go to me. I'm just kind of not sure what we're doing here. So why don't you give your honest perception, Tom? Let's repeat some of the conversation we had. I said, we've got to film this for for Friday, because if you're feeling this way, other people are probably feeling this way. So I haven't yet fully hit the mark in explaining what we're doing, what we're up to. So,
well, the Sean, as many of you probably know, can be very inspirational. The short snippets at the beginning of the Why Not Huddles, I don't think was conveying significantly enough the why of the why nots. And I think after having the meeting this morning with Sean and he started to get into the why of the why not huddles, it was starting to make much more sense. And I could see how it is so important to Sean and would become an integral part of the firm's development and all of our development. So I was happy to hear Sean give some greater detail as to why the point of the Why Not Huddles this morning, and it's good stuff.
Tom, right. Couple quick questions. Like, what did you hear this morning that may have been different than what you thought you heard on the Why Not Huddles before?
Well, it's maybe it was the brevity of the Why Not Huddles. I know they're short, 4 or 5 minutes, but without enough of an orientation as to what the point of them was, the brevity of the videos just didn't convey enough of the message as to what the whole goal was. And I think the goal is important, and I think the goal is a good one. We've got to creating communities with common interest, online communities, and how important it would be to establish those communities and then sub-communities that have more finite interests. And it's all good stuff. And I don't think the little introductory snippets in the first 7 or 8 of the videos conveyed that enough.
Okay, so from the perspective of the potential person out there watching and listening, just any person, do you feel like we created some greater clarity today of why just anybody should watch this?
Absolutely.
Okay. And if you could share with me, because then I'm going to go and really tie it up tight. And this is potentially, I'm hoping, the most valuable Why Not Huddle, because I'm asking for feedback constantly. And you're one of the very trusted people within the firm, and you gave me some great feedback today. So I'm hoping to take that feedback and make it even more clear as to why we're doing this and why people should be watching. So what did you take away? And there's no pressure, and we just discussed this morning. It's not like you're going to be now responsible for teaching the people. I just want to hear what you're hearing, so that'll give me kind of a little bit of juice to really tighten it up and share with people. So what are you hearing as to why people, it would be really important and good if you're going to tell a relative, hey, you should really watch this. Like, what are you hearing is the reason that people should watch?
Okay, when I heard you talk in greater detail this morning, I thought, I'm a coffee drinker, okay, which for whatever that's worth, but I said to myself, I'm starting to get it. It's a morning inspirational piece of communication. And it's kind of like how people use coffee in the morning. They wake up, they put on a pot of coffee. People will say to you anecdotally, I'm useless until I have my coffee. All right, all of that nonsense, and it's all nonsense.
Right.
But your videos are trying to do a similar thing. Rather than a cup of coffee, quote unquote, to get somebody motivated, quote unquote, you're trying to say, okay, I'm going to get you back on track mentally and emotionally and spiritually to do what you should be doing today. Right. And that's great stuff. So it's more than an inspirational video. It's supposed to tie in what is important in a person's life what their goals and objectives are for the day, and to say to them, wake up, it's time to get on that track for what you need to accomplish today.
And what you want to accomplish.
And what you want to accomplish
Right,
today. So it's kind of like, maybe the coffee analogy was not that great, but a similar analogy would be a halftime pep talk that a coach gives to its team and says, what are you guys doing? You were flat the first half. Let's go. Let's get out there. You're better than this. And I think that's what the idea of the morning Why Not Huddle is. And I think that's a great thing.
Okay, I appreciate it. Now let me, and I shared this with Tom, and Tom made those comments before, and I added a few things that I appreciate the idea of being viewed as inspirational and refocusing, regrounding, which we talked about. But hopefully the idea is to have it be even so much more than that. And the idea is that the value of a halftime huddle is not just the motivational, inspirational elements, right? The value of a halftime talk from a coach is also for him to say, wait a minute, when we ran the jet sweep, you didn't pull appropriately because you used your left foot first, right? And, wide receiver, when we ran the post corner and we're supposed to have you pull the safety, you didn't cut it deeply in enough and take the safety with you so it could hit the tight end for the hook. It's the substantive elements that are going to be coming on these videos, and we've just begun, right? And so I'm battling the challenge of having them being short enough that people will regularly watch, right, to start their day and have the time to, and long enough to give that substantive value as well. And so it is like a halftime huddle, but not just for the motivation, the inspiration. It's also going to be teaching you the skill sets of results, the skill sets to produce the results you want on concepts like process modeling. Process modeling for what? Process modeling for all the results that we want to produce in our life. The skill set of communication and some of its elements. And then understanding, we talk about the idea that Why Not is grounded in the principle of mastery, of living life at cause and living a life of constant and never-ending improvement, right? That's one. I think I heard that term from Tony Robbins one time, constant and never-ending improvement. I really liked it. Again, we talked about a quote the other day from Socrates. You cannot attribute it to Socrates, maybe falsely, maybe not, who knows, that we cannot live better than in seeking to become still better than we are. And that's the principle of Why Not Help. Now, James, hello, James.
Hi, Sean.
Sitting over here. And James said this morning, he's like, well, this is like, sounds like for salespeople, and we have some of the attorneys in the firm that as we really launch forward in some of our online platforms and relationship development, maybe some of these people, it's just not who they are and what they're going to be into. And my answer was, I'm not attempting to have people produce results that aren't consistent with their job function within the firm, or if you're listening, that are not consistent with your life goal. I'm not telling you, if you're completely thrilled with where you are, I'm not telling you that you should hit the weight room and try to bench press 300 pounds. I'm not telling you that. That's not your goal. I'm not telling you what your goal should be. But what I am telling you, and I am telling James, is that regardless of what you think your goals are, right, there are pieces that are really important. So to use James's example, going, well, some of the lawyers that are in the firm, well, maybe they're just not like into being people, and they're very happy within their world of being who they are and doing their job. And some of these things are outside of their job function to get better at, like being involved in social media. And the answer was, you're correct, but here's where you may be wrong. Where you may be wrong, and you're wrong, is that all of those same attorneys, to be in mastery within the spoke, right, of their contribution to the firm, where they are, that lane that they're in, they're expected to want to get better regularly. They're expected to want to enhance their influencing skills, their writing skills, their skills on their feet, communicating, confronting adversaries, and framing questions appropriately to influence arbitrators and DRPs they're dealing with. So within that element, that is what they're responsible for getting better at. So therefore, the Why Not Huddles are also critical for them. Because the Why Not Huddle is not about inspiring someone to want to start a business. It's about inspiring someone to get better at whatever it is they're doing and where they want to go. Does that make sense, James?
Yeah,
a little
absolutely.
better, right?
Yeah.
So we're not trying to sit here and say, hey, guess what? You should want to make $1 million. You should want to own a business. You should want. No. That's crazy. Right? I'm not trying to create false desires in people. I'm saying all of you want something. We're around the table. Matt, you want more in certain areas of your life in some way, correct?
That's correct.
James, you want more in certain areas of your life, is that correct?
Yes.
Tom, you?
I have everything.
Tom's good. No, but do you want, yes? You
Of
want
course,
Of course, right? So do I, Carol. You want some stuff? In other areas of your
Absolutely.
life? Again, and whether it be in, relationship issues, family issues, building more business, making more money, having more time off, becoming better at what we do, building more of a level of fulfillment and legacy in what we're doing. The Why Not Daily Huddles are about bringing us back on track to this, because if you wake up and you flip on the news, it takes you in a completely different place. If you wake up and you put on Boomer and Carton in the morning, and I enjoy once in a while listening to Boomer and Carton, but they're making fun of everything. It's incredibly negative in a lot of different ways. They're talking about who blew the game, who blew the play. They're fighting and arguing, and it's entertaining. And I enjoy watching it once in a while, but I know this. I used to enjoy watching Howard Stern. I don't believe in the values. I didn't like the high level of sexuality, but I believe that Howard Stern was amazingly talented in terms of interviewing people, making lucid points. His some of his thoughts were really impressive to me. He was incredibly intelligent, and I enjoyed hearing how he communicated. Though he was a master of communication. Didn't like the sexuality, but loved his level of communication mastery. What I found is, when I was listening regularly to the show, while you may chuckle at different things and maybe a little bit feel uncomfortable or laugh at some of those things, it wasn't taking my life in the right trajectory in terms of each day. So I would listen and watch the Howard Stern show. I would hear how much people stunk, how horrible people were, how much people hid what they really wanted, how this dark side of humanity existed. And it was humorous and it was entertaining in a certain way, but it wasn't bringing me to the right places for my day, for my thoughts, feelings, actions, results, and ultimate destiny. Does that mean you can never watch Howard Stern? No, it doesn't mean that. Maybe if it's against your spiritual values, I understand that. But listen, I think he's amazingly talented. I think he's one of the most talented communicators that have come along in America in the last 50 years. I think he's amazing. But him being amazing doesn't mean that that's how we should start our day. Nor does it mean we should watch the news. Nor does it mean we should watch sports talk. And I shared on the Why Not Huddle from yesterday, which was earlier this morning, that for me, I would have, when I was building my business and doing the things I was doing on my own, and even right now, I surf and hunt for things to watch in the morning to start my day differently. I have amazing amounts of audiobooks loaded on, but I'm like, that doesn't really fit the bill either, because I'm just attaching to a piece of something in that moment to replace what I think the Why Not Huddles actually do, which nobody else is doing. It gives you a place to start your day at cause, to live your life at mastery, which doesn't mean it's not fun. I want to be fun, entertaining, have an awesome time. Listen, I'm sure some people think I'm out of my mind. Listen, do you guys not think I'm out of my mind sometimes? Honestly.
Sometimes.
Of course, right? And so we talked about today how sometimes we go too fast, that we're too crazy and whatever, and that's awesome. And so that helps me course correct, right? And calm down a little bit. We negotiated through some of the rollouts for some of the things that we're thinking about for our pit team meeting this morning. But the Why Not Huddle is something for every single person. It is for, I would say, a 15-year-old on up who dreams about getting better grades, of going to college, of being successful, for a 60-year-old who's contemplating retirement, for a 25-year-old who's contemplating changing jobs, for a 25-year-old who's made $5 million, working on Wall Street, which are few and far between today, right, Tom, than they were a few years ago. But, anybody who's looking to do anything, to go from point A to point B, which is every human being. So the show is for every human being because it's talking to you in your life, where you are and where you're trying to go. It's not about telling you that you should want a certain type of life, other than to say you should want a life that minimizes negativity, sarcasm, and cynicism, understands that positivity is reality, right? Watching the news does not give you reality. It's a distortion. It's a distortion of focus onto something. The world is not Hillary Clinton. The world is not what's happening with ISIS. That is not the world. You go, well, those are important issues, Mr. Callagy, and are you suggesting that I be not informed? Listen, I went to Columbia. I was a poli-sci major. I was involved in a lot of kooky stuff watching it go on with professors and movements and everything. I get being informed, but I don't get being informed to shape negative belief structures we have about other people, the world, how we should view things, and how we should be creating things in our own life. I don't believe that watching the news and having ourselves distracted by some things that are going on elsewhere that we're practically doing nothing to change. If you want to watch and take action, fantastic. If you want to watch briefly and have that calculated to how you vote, wonderful. If you want to watch 4 hours a day, you can talk about what jerks people that like Hillary Clinton are, or what a jerk Donald Trump is, then I think you're not living a cause. And yes, you're living the opposite of why not. So yes, I am saying don't do that. I am saying find ways to function and believe and think that support the goals you actually have as opposed to being an effect of the world. The world wants to feed you what it wants to feed you to sell you stuff. The news is there to have you watch to sell ad time. Is that not true? Am I lying about that? Does the news want you to be informed, or does it want to sell you ad time?
Sell commercials. Yeah.
Sell commercials, right? And that's one of the big criticisms about the media. And I use the media because a lot of people start their day by flipping on the television. Other people start their day, oh no, that's not me. I watch sports talk radio. Well, great. How much negativity? James, do you ever watch sports or listen to sports talk radio?
Yeah, every day.
Every day. Is there not a ton of negativity in it?
That's almost all it is.
Right? It's telling you who did what wrong. Who's wrong for liking this one? I like this team. Your team stinks. I don't believe this happened. The other day, right, I was heartbroken. I was at the Met game, and I heard kids at Just Hits, and I interviewed Mike Just on or Why Not Talk the other day. I heard kids yesterday going, Daniel Murphy S's, right? Daniel Murphy S's, and it's not stinks. And he blew the World Series, right? Where does that come from? That comes from probably a parent, and it comes from watching sports talk radio. Like, how sad to distort reality in that way. How sad that we're building a culture that thinks that the mistake that was caused by a guy, by the way, who got them into the World Series and had 7 home runs. Single-handedly lost the World Series, and it's not what happened. Which is why Bill Buckner is still improperly, totally incorrectly blamed for the 1986 World Series amazing comeback for the Mets, which was tied before the ball rolled through his legs. But most people don't even remember that or think about that. So the point of the Why Not Huddle is to stop distortion through negativity, cynicism, and sarcasm, to stop living a life at effect, to live a life at cause, in mastery, in true positivity. And true positivity doesn't mean ignoring the challenges. It doesn't mean thinking there's no problems. It means aggressively setting goals. It means taking massive zone action, enjoying having fun in the process, course correcting along the way to deal with the legitimate challenges that you face, realizing if your plan's not totally working, not making massive changes and abandoning everything, which we've even done at times. And I'm not telling you to do this perfectly, right? I'm trying to live my life on this level even better than I ever have before. And P.S., here's the amazing key. This sounds very overwhelming. Well, here's the deal. If you're living your life in a why not approach, 30% of the time, I'm going to challenge you and say this. You're going to be 10 times more effective than the mass of the population. I think most people are living a cause and live in zone action under 5% of the time they spend with their eyes open. I promise you. And in fact, when they're sleeping, a lot of people are having a more effective approach to life than even when they're awake, because they're moving backwards as they're awake. That's what Why Not is about. It's for everyone, and it's to build a community of people who think like that. You know why? Because I want to hang out and talk to and be around people who believe the same things that I believe in about life. And it's not like some wacky cultish thing. This is like what peak performance sports is all about. The most fun times I've ever had in my life were playing high school sports and coaching kids, youth sports. And in fact, when I was in college baseball, I didn't have that much fun because the program I was in at the time, and by the way, Columbia baseball now rocks. Brett Baretti, sick, phenomenal, one of the best coaches in college baseball, 3 straight Ivy League championships, go Brett, right? Amazing and awesome stuff that's happening. When I was at Columbia, and total respect for the program and for my coach, it wasn't like that. So it wasn't that much fun. It was very common. It was very ordinary. And I don't want to be involved in common and ordinary. Do you? I don't think so. Do you want to be involved in common and ordinary? Tom,
No.
Do you want to have an ordinary life, a common life? James, you, Matt, Taylor?
Nope.
Right? Who does? That's what this is all about, and why people need to be watching Why Not every day and sharing and spreading the message, so you can stop feeling alone. Because and here's the crazy part about it. Everyone I talk to, everyone, when you get them alone and you talk this way to me, they want something more. They want to figure out what to do with the challenge. They want to get someplace. When they're in group, we feel secure by being cynical and sarcastic and negative in groups, right? So you may think that most people don't feel and think the way I'm sharing right now. You're wrong. Because I've worked with the most cynical, screwed up, crazy, wealthy, nuts people. I've worked with kids. I've worked with moderately successful, little successful, massively successful, everywhere in between. Everybody wants this. But because they have no grounding force regularly in their life, like the Why Not Huddle, they're all over the place every day, and they go to work and people are negative, and they come home and their spouse is negative. They hear from their kids and the kids are negative. The teachers are negative. Everybody's negative, right? And distorting the amazing positive reality of what life can be. That's what the Why Not Huddles are all about. I'm asking you very honestly, because I'm going to wrap up now. I'm asking you very honestly, is that more clear now? That much more clear, somewhat more clear, or what's the story than it was before?
Much more clear.
Okay. James?
Yeah, I agree with that too.
Much clearer.
Taylor, how about you? You're there every day. Has that been made more clear?
It's definitely more clear to the public, yeah, than it has been. I have a different perspective getting to live it every day, but
I'm hearing you talk about this stuff constantly.
Yeah.
Listen, this is my passion, and this is why she will be. It's very. You're here now. Is this who I am? Is this very real?
100%.
Why are you laughing?
We were in the middle of a meeting and you're like, we're going to stop it. We're going to film tomorrow's episode right now. Let's go.
Right. But like, you've known me now for a long time.
Yeah.
Like, is this not what I live and breathe? Is
Yes.
this
Yeah, absolutely.
approach and the belief in people's capacity? And yesterday's video, shot earlier today, was about human capacity, and I believe in human capacity. I believe in everybody's capacity to have a life that they're truly proud of, they truly feel awesome about, that's truly passionate, is everything that they want it to be. And that's what I want for people. I want people to look at themselves in the mirror and feel proud. I want them to look at their children and feel proud. I want the children to look at them and feel proud. And not perfect, we've all made mistakes, I'm not saying for people. Whatever it is. But we can go forward and create that outcome very, very quickly. Have an awesome day. Have an awesome weekend, because it's our Friday, why not? I know this has been long. Please share this. Please get the message out there, because I think this is the most clear we've been on what this is all about. Have a fantastic weekend, and we will see you on Monday. Thank you.